Hello and welcome to News Central TV. I'm Darshan Usman. The top stories this hour. President Tinubu congratulates Muslims on Eid, calls for unity and peace. Islamic movement in Nigeria accuses security forces of human rights violations during its procession. And away from Nigeria, head of the Sudanese paramilitary rapid support forces admits withdrawal from capital Khartoum. Details of these stories and more coming up shortly. News now begins from the nation's capital, Abuja, where President Bola Tinubu has called on Muslims to imbibe the value of kindness, charity and selflessness embraced during Ramadan. Now speaking at the National Eid Prayer Ground along Airport Road in Abuja, Tinubu emphasized the importance of sustaining the spirit of Ramadan beyond the holy month. The president also called for collective responsibility in fostering peace and national progress. For the first time, President Tinubu will host guests at the State House for an Eid al-Fitr luncheon as he had marked the celebration at his Ikoyi residence in Lagos. After 29 days of fasting and spiritual reflection, Muslims in Lagos joined millions around the world in celebrating Eid al-Fitr. At the Dodan Barracks Prayer Ground in Ikoyi and other prayer centers across the city, worshippers gathered for the traditional Eid prayers marking the end of Ramadan. News Central's Bernard Akede reports.
The sight of thousands of worshippers dressed in their finest attires, bowing in unison, filled prayer grounds across Lagos as Muslims marked Eid al-Fitr. At the Dodan Barracks Prayer Ground in Ikoyi, where prominent figures often converge for prayers, the Chief Imam of Lagos, Sheikh Sulaiman Abu Nola, led the congregation in the Eid prayers, which began at exactly 10 a.m. In his sermon, the Chief Imam reminded worshippers that while Ramadan has come to an end, the spirit of charity and kindness should not. He urged Muslims to continue giving to those in need, regardless of religion, as a way to foster unity and growth in the society.
Peaceful coexistence amongst both the Muslims and the non-Muslims. This is in order to create an enabling environment for development. Also, the month of Ramadan is all about charity, giving to the less privileged, giving to the poor. This should be a continuous process. It's not only for Ramadan only. After Ramadan, let us continue to be our neighbor's keeper. Let us show good hands and good fellowship to our neighbors so that people can reflect and be able to appreciate what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us.
Among the dignitaries present was Lagos Deputy Governor Dr. Obafemi Hamzat, who emphasized the importance of prayers for the nation. Also speaking, former Lagos State Governor Babatunde Raji Fashola encouraged Muslims to pray for the President Bola Tinubu and the country's leadership as they navigate governance challenges.
This is the time for us to build, not the time to break. This is a time to reconcile, not a time to reproach. This is a time for us to stretch our hands of fellowship to one another and focus on building the great country that Almighty Allah has provided for us.
Elsewhere in the state, Muslim faithful reflected on the spiritual significance of Ramadan, highlighting the importance of zakat, acts of charity, which remains a pillar of the faith beyond the fasting period.
29 days, it was not much, but then it was a lot because a lot went on, the prayers, the supplications, the du'as and everything. And then now after 29 days, I guess we have to continue with the good work that was, because it doesn't just end at the 29 days. The Quran recitation, the prayers, everything has to continue.
This is another opportunity to worship God, to serve God, to show love and all of that. So we're thankful to God for that, for giving us this opportunity.
With the next 2 days declared as public holidays in Nigeria, Muslims will take time to celebrate with family and loved ones before resuming their daily routine. And as Muslim faithful departs the prayer ground here at Dodan Barracks in Lagos, the message from the Chief Imam is simple. Though the month of Ramadan is about charity, giving to the poor and to the less privileged, that act should not end with the end of Ramadan.
On the contrary, it should continue all through the year to foster development and harmony amongst Muslims and non-Muslims alike. In Lagos for News Central, Bernard Akede.
Still on the festivities, the Emir of Kano, Sanusi Lamido II, has called on citizens of Kano to shelve plans of reprisal attacks following the gruesome murder of suspected hunters and alleged indigents of Kano State. Now, the incident happened as the suspected hunters, identified to be in possession of hunting rifles, were attacked at the Uromi area of Edo State as they were traveling from Port Harcourt to Kano. The Emir, while speaking during the sermon at the Eid prayer ground in the state capital, called for justice for the deceased while urging citizens of the state to allow law enforcement agencies to do their job. He then held a mini carnival-like procession back to his place or palace after the Eid prayers and was escorted by hundreds of supporters through major streets of Kano. Some residents who spoke to News Central expressed their delight and support for the Emir.
Ayyo mu kawai Allah ma ya mana rahama. Mun yi azumi, mun yi sallah, mun ga sarkin mu. Allah ya maimaita mana. Me da muhimmanci gani sarki ku ayo? Ai alaji idan an yi azumi aka yi sallah ba ga sarki ba ma da sauranka. To, yi mana, anan Kano ba da sauranka. Haka ko? Yi mana, yanzu kuma za mu je mu ci abinci mu ta godewa Allah kaje sai abin da sarki ya faɗa. A zauna lafiya. Wanda ɗaukar doka a hannu. To umarnin sarki za mu je mu.
Yau ranar farin ciki da Allah ya tabbatar mana da wannan rana mai albarka ta ɗaya ga watan Shawwal wanda mun kammala watan azumin Ramadan lafiya. Allah ya karbe badunmu wannan hawan sallah ne mai albarka ga mai martaba sarki ya fito. Ga ma kofar bai za mu raka shi har gida in Allah ya yarda. Za a yi taro lafiya a gama lafiya cikin hukuncin Allah.
News Central correspondent Sagir Ibrahim is on standby to tell us how the celebration is going in Suleja, Niger State. Hello, Sagir. Barka da Sallah to you. Please go ahead and share with us, what the celebration is, how it is going in Suleja at the moment.
Well, good afternoon, Dashin. Good afternoon to Nigerians. Barka da Sallah, indeed. Well, Suleja's situation is somewhat similar, I believe, to what's going on across the rest of the country. It's a situation characterized by a lack of, do I say resources or a lack of funds? During the course of my conversation with quite a number of the Muslim faithful, they had mentioned that they're just thankful for life. They're happy that they were able to see the beginning of the Ramadan season up until the end of it. And aside that, they are thankful that there's good health. Aside that, the cost of living is an issue to contend with. Not having enough to feed, as the case may be, let alone sharing with others. In fact, right now, I'm in a street, an expanse that used to be the busiest area in Suleja during this kind of period, be it Salah celebrations, be it Christmas celebrations or Easter celebrations. I'm standing in front, if you permit me, of a popular spot known as NG. It's a restaurant around the area, and as you can see, it's empty, it's scanty, save for just one vehicle that is parked at the extreme end here. This place used to be usually packed up with vehicles, individuals, families, children come here to play, eat, and make merry. I sent clips earlier of the Emir Palace and the front of the sports yard, where usually you would have children, you would have adults, young and old, gathered there to celebrate and make merry, and the Emir would come out, to greet his subjects and just celebrate with them. But unfortunately, this is not the situation, of course, owing to the cost of living and owing to the cost of commodities in the market. The people have continued to pray. They have continued to solicit that the government does what is needed to ensure that these pressures, especially economic pressures, are reduced from them to the barest minimum. However, this has been the situation. Not so many individuals have come out. Most of these spots that are usually relaxation spots for people to come together as a community to share love, eat together, and have fun are empty, as the case is currently. And a lot of individuals are just happy and thankful that
they came out of it alive and in good health.
Absolutely, Saigiro. We're all in it together. So what about, the Eid prayers? How was it conducted, across the city?
Well, the Eid prayers went on successfully and smoothly as it should be. The Imam that led the Eid prayer, of course, would always call for the needs to continue to foster love, care, and of course, support for one another. Pray for one's country, of course, which is often the most important indeed, because we know what the security situation is in the country. It's important for individuals, Nigerians generally, and of course, in this situation, Muslims, to offer prayers to Allah to ensure that they are protected from both known and unknown evils. So the Eid prayers basically was used as an avenue to call on Nigerians to continue to express resilience and to continue to pray to Allah and hope that the situation gets better than what it is currently.
Okay, absolutely. We hope that is the case. Now, thank you so much, Sagir, for that update. And do enjoy your Salah festivity. Now in Borno State, Muslim faithfuls observed a peaceful Eid al-Fitr this year following a month-long Ramadan marked by prayer, fasting and reflection. The celebratory mode was highlighted by the widespread praise for the state's security improvements as Shehu of Borno hosted a vibrant Daba in Maiduguri, the state capital. News Central's Umar Kirawa completes the report.
In previous years, due to the age-old insurgency, Borno had witnessed roadblocks and restrictions, leaving many to face hardships during festive seasons. In the early hours, families in the various communities of Borno State converge at their Eid ground to observe prayers commencing the end of Ramadan.
Alhamdulillah, as you can see, a lot of people are all smiling, they are all out to celebrate this year Eid celebration. And as you can see, people are moving freely without any concern that there might be attack or there will be anything. I think this is what praising God and praising our own security architecture.
The improvements in security, which have enabled the local population to freely travel between towns and villages, have brought a sense of normalcy to Borno's residents.
The collective effort of our leaders, with our service commanders, gave us this peace we are witnessing today. Not forgetting the teeming populace that prayed for Almighty Allah, to pray to Almighty Allah to give us the enduring peace. I wish to congratulate all Muslims on this fateful day and wish us many more returns, inshallah, in the next coming years.
This is a historic moment for the people of the Khartoum Empire here in Maiduguri, the state capital, where both the young and old, men and women converge at the Shehu of Borno's palace to witness the historic Daba. This time is unique as everybody is smiling, signaling the return of peace.
This is what we inherited. This has been happening in Borno for over 1,000 years, and we have maintained it, and we hope to live in the next generation to come.
Shehu had gone out to pray, and now he has returned safely back. So that is what we are depicting. Our family, our husband, and our pageantry.
Dressed in their regalia to showcase merriment of the festive season, the peaceful atmosphere for the people of Borno is said to have renewed their hope for better tomorrow.
We did Eid peacefully, so we thank God and may Allah show us next again.
For the people of Maiduguri, the Borno State capital, today is a happy day for them, taking into consideration the relaxation of curfew and free movement without any rancor, without any restriction. And their hope and prayers is that such initiative should be sustained for sustainable peace and development. From Ramat Square Eid Ground in Maiduguri, the Borno State capital, for News Central, Umaru Kirawa.
And now, still on the celebrations, we have our correspondent in Kano State, Emmanuel Bagudu, joining us to speak more, on the celebrations. Hi, Emmanuel, if you can hear me, please go ahead and share with us what the festivities are like in Kano. All right, we'll try to reconnect with Emmanuel. Now, meanwhile, the Muslim faithful in Jos, the Plateau State capital, are filled with joy and enthusiasm as they celebrate Ramadan. News Central's Chizoba Nyongwe interviewed some of them in the capital who expressed delight, though not fully in the wind of the celebration, owing to economic hardship in Nigeria. Her report.
The whole month of March has been that of fasting, prayer, forgiveness and almsgiving for the Muslim faithful across the globe, and those of them here on the plateau aren't left out of the mood, especially with the peaceful atmosphere where everyone has been going about their lawful businesses. Some of them who spoke to News Central say they are in high spirit as the month of Ramadan has been rewarding.
I feel very excited and the fasting is very wonderful. It's not stressful and we thank God. Everything is fine.
Fasting is ending today and Salah is tomorrow, but there's no money in the town, but Alhamdulillah, we thank God for it.
The most important thing is to thank God for life, for health. So the fact that we are alive and witness it, whatever we are able to use, whatever we are able to get, we thank God for it.
Yet for some others, the joy of the celebration would have been complete if the economy was more friendly. However, they remain grateful to God for the gift of life.
The economy is biting differently to people. Some people can afford some things, while some people cannot afford it. But I know a lot of people are helping also. Some people are giving food items, some people are giving clothes to those that are less privileged. So everybody will be happy at the end of the day, inshallah.
I'm happy with the month of Ramadan, and we are happy from the coming of Salah. And Nigeria, we don't have cash finance and we are praying for Allah to help us.
We are coming to the ending of the fasting without money for our pocket or to do so many things, to buy clothes for our children, our parents, but we pray since we are alive and we have health, and that's all.
While activities continue for a peaceful Salah celebration in the city of Jos, the cry of these respondents, some of them who spoke off camera, is that government waits into this matter to ensure that the economic hardship in Nigeria is brought to its barest minimum. In Plateau State for News Central, Chizoba Anyowe.
Eid al-Fitr commemorates the end of Ramadan, the Islamic holy month of fasting. Now, it is a significant celebration in the Islamic calendar, symbolizing the breaking of the fast and renewal of spiritual growth. Meanwhile, Muslims in Asaba, the Delta State capital, gathered at the Eid prayer grounds to seek forgiveness and express gratitude to Allah for a successful Ramadan. News Central correspondent Austin Azu, who covered the spiritual exercise, reports that the faithfuls share insight on its significance, lessons learned during Ramadan, and wishes for Nigeria.
And this thing teaches you a lot of things within this last month. It teaches you to be patient, to be tolerant, and to be dedicated to Almighty God, to fear God, and to support the needy.
Being a Muslim or Christian, anywhere you find yourself, you share that love that you feel that is very common. It matters to share to one another. And I'm saying happy Salah to everyone.
We need peace for this country. We are all one. Muslims and Christians, we are all one. We are from Adam and Eve.
Our leaders should come together, irrespective of their religion, irrespective of their tribe. We must come together and join hands to work for our dear country. We don't have any country than Nigeria.
We'll take a break now. When we come back, the news continues. Stay with us. Welcome back and thank you for staying with us. Now, the Managing Director of the Federal Housing Authority, FHA, alongside the FHA management team, has inspected the Buari housing project to address recent allegations of project abandonment and non-payment of contractors. Now, during the visit, the FHA boss dismissed claims that the site had been abandoned, reaffirming the agency's commitment to completing the project. He also engaged with contractors to assess progress and warned that contracts would be terminated for those who had failed to execute their obligations despite being mobilized since last year.
25th of July last year when we came here, the project was looking abandoned. But like we normally say, government is continuum. And we came in, we had to move in straight to make sure the project continues. The first thing we did was to find out who and who, where are the stages of contractors in terms of payment, in terms of work schedule, work done. And at that July, when we confirmed some certain contractors have met up to the requirement for payments, after doing valuation and everything, we decided to pay. Some abandoned the site, which some have even still abandoned the site as we speak, which we are terminating their contract. But so far so good. The last time we were here, the buildings were not yet plastered, roofs were not yet done in most of it. Like I said, the electricity poles were not installed, infrastructural facilities were there. We can now see the fencing as well wasn't there. It's quite a big, massive project of about 237 housing units, thereabout, if I'm right. And we would complete, putting it in mind that we are not being funded from the budgetary allocation. That's the truth. So it's through our entire generated revenue that we've been able to achieve this so far. And thanks for the staffs as well, I usually say it. They are dedicated and their commitment into the work. And we can promise Nigeria that about 5-6 months from now, we should be able to complete this project. I also come in here is to see, because we've told the contractors, we must inspect your work stage by stage before payment. You won't just sit in the office and we'll pay you for doing nothing. We are terminating some, which we are going forward to the EFCC.
Islamic movement in Nigeria, also known as the Shiites, has accused security forces of human rights violations during its procession last Friday in Nigeria's capital, Abuja. Addressing journalists in Abuja, the group denied reports of confrontation, insisting that there was no provocation from its members to warrant the action of security operatives. Now, they allege that 6 of their members were killed, over 380 detained, and that some corpses remain unaccounted for. The group is now demanding the immediate release of its members and the bodies of those allegedly killed.
We may also wish to state here that, similar to what we learned is happening in Israel and Palestine, when they attack Palestinians, they take away the dead bodies. We have been reliably informed that, and it's well known to the world, that they do harvest their organs. Right now, Israel is directly behind this attack that happened here in this city yesterday. So, and we have our dead bodies with them. We will therefore demand the release of our bodies and a thorough examination of their bodies to make sure that no organ has been harvested from any of our brothers, and this we will not condemn. In view of the foregoing, we are demanding for 1, unconditional release of all that have been arrested in connection with the 2025 Abuja International Post Day procession held on the 28th of March 2025. We are also demanding the prosecution of those responsible for the killings. Certainly, somebody must have given the order, and some people, non-people have been, commissioned to carry out the killings. We therefore demand that these people should be fished out and punished accordingly, because nobody has any right to just take any gun, any arm and just kill anybody just because he's exercising his fundamental human right.
Now, we've been able to reconnect with our correspondent, Emmanuel Bagudu, who joins us to speak more on the Eid al-Fitr celebrations in Kano State. Emmanuel, thank you so much for joining. Please go ahead and tell us, what the atmosphere is like in Kano State. The news continues after the break. Stay. The provost of the Federal College of Education, Technical in Asaba Delta State, Professor Josephine Anene Okakwa, has offered further insight into the recurring attacks on students by suspected herdsmen and other criminals at the institution. Professor Anene Okakwa's reaction surfaces barely a few days after the students of the college staged a peaceful protest over the increasing security challenges confronting the college and the recent attack on students by suspected herdsmen. The provost stated that the college is facing a serious challenge of land grabbing by one Ophili Mordi, who she accused of demolishing portions of the college fence, thereby facilitating the entry of criminal suspects into the college to commit heinous crimes against staff and students. Meanwhile, efforts to contact the accused Mordi was unsuccessful.
The major insecurity is the breaking down of our fence, pulling down our fence, the land grabber. By name, Obueshi Ophili Mordi. He's from Asaba. You understand? Early last year, or towards end of 2023, he started encroaching on the land. And when he came in with talks, armed talks, with force, just like that. Armed talks, policemen. The students were running away, staff were shouting. They called me, come and see what is happening. No. Who is the person? They told me. Because I know him, I called him. I said, oh, Philly, what are you doing there? Leave that place immediately. Leave that place. This is federal government land, for God's sake. What are you doing there? He laughed at me. Said, you are a woman. He laughed. I said, I thought it was a joke. Before I knew what was happening, tractors everywhere, bulldozing everywhere, bulldozing even the fence everywhere. But I didn't go there. Because why I didn't go there, and I told myself nobody should go there. You understand? Start at a distance and be watching there because they could harm them, even the students. I told them, please, nobody should go there. Since it's going with armed talks, policemen, and the rest of them, to save those lives. I said,
to health matters. Amidst Nigeria's continued challenge with air and environmental pollution, Ewekoro local government area in Ogun State adds to the increasing statistics as residents are still burdened with the after effects of the activities of a major player in the cement manufacturing industry situated in the host communities of Ewekoro and Akimbo, about 64 years since operations began. In this report, News Central's Aishat Salihu investigates the issues beneath this challenge, calling on authorities to do right by committing to one health approach in order to optimize health outcomes for all.
Ewekoro is a major destination for industrial plants, but beneath the surface of this easygoing community, a silent killer is taking hold. Air, environment, water, and noise pollution, impacting the environment and human health in distinct ways. The cement industry that powers these towns is fueling a growing crisis that threatens the health and social well-being of the vulnerable population.
It's affecting us by blasting. They are blasting. When they are blast, it's vibrate the land that can cause earthquake. So that is why the buildings are cracking. The vibration, yes, is the causes.
Ìlera ó jẹ́ nǹkan tó jẹ́ kókó tó yẹ kí wọ́n bá mú ní ọ̀kúnkúndùn. Ṣé tí yín ṣe tó jẹ́ pé gbogbo èèmù gan ẹlòmíì gan nílùú kò yẹ kó tí ì darúgbó tó ti máa darúgbó pàjáwìrì àpàpàǹdodo lórí kíní air pollution mọ́ tó máa ń dust tó máa ń káàkiri kò síbi tí ò kí ń dé irú bá ṣe wà bí ìbá yìí sìn ó jẹ́ èèmù gan ẹlòmíì gan kò yẹ kó tí ì kú tó yẹ mọ̀ pé tó bá ti fa dust símú ó máa tètè kú tí ọjọ́ òní tí pè tó ti máa kú.
For 65-year-old Shakirat Oloyede, a native and resident of Ewekoro community, the air she breathes every day is a constant struggle. Shakirat has been living with some health conditions that worsen with the rising levels of air and environmental pollution in her neighborhood.
The thing where they happen is too much. Because the dust, they affect us. They affect our nose, mouth and eyes, and our chest. If anybody cough that time, now that dust, now it go bring out from the mouth. And when we are going to hospital to take care of ourselves, then go treat chest for cough, and the eyes, then they treat it for us. As they go to hospital, the money now from my pocket, now they use to treat myself. Nobody they help me, give me money or support me.
The rapid industrialization, vehicle emissions, dilapidated road structure, and also carbon emission arising from the activities of the cement factory in a worker community have led to a decline in the air quality right here. There seem to be debates over the decades, but what is unclear is why the community refused to relocate after admitting the cement company suggested the option.
lóòótọ́ wọ́n sọ pé ká relocate a lè relocate nítorí pé kí ni ibi tá à ń gbégun ẹ̀ tún ṣe lè wá fẹ́ relocate wa ṣó ti yé sí àfi kẹ́ ẹ̀ tún ṣe náà tẹ́ bá tún ṣe la máa jọ jókòó gbogbo wa máa jókòó ní village la máa sọ̀rọ̀ kó kí o yá kí la ká ṣe kí ni assurance pé tá bá relocate tá bá lọ ṣé a máa rí nǹkan gbà mọ́ àbí báwo lè ṣe fẹ́ ṣe.
Ononode Monsuru, a youth representative who has lived in Ewekoro all his life, like many others, says all he wants from the ongoing deliberation is compensation for repairs on his building structure ahead of the rainy season.
So, waiting cause this thing, the major something is that because of the dust of the wako, of lavage, is making cake for the whole zinc, turn it to asbestos, which is not asbestos, it's only the zinc. So now all the zinc turn to asbestos. When rain is fall, we can't take the water. The water is very bad for us to take. So though Lafarge, they are trying their best, but we need their effort to continue to do it for us.
Experts worry that prolonged exposures to cement dust and mine blasts would affect the quality of life in the communities.
The particles are so tiny, because these ones we are seeing, there are ones you cannot even see. There are ones that are so tiny that can pass through your nostrils. Your nose have protection, have those hairs that can protect something heavy from passing through. But there are also some that are so tiny that they can pass through. You can start having asthma, you can start having bronchitis, start having lung diseases that is a factor to lung cancer. So if you calculate somebody that's 65 years or maybe 50 years of his life or her life has been exposed to this, so the quality of life will not be as good as someone that is not exposed to that.
As for the way forward,
the issue is this: whether they are legally or not, or illegally, we have a duty towards them as a government. We have a social contract to protect the well-being of the people of the state. So they are part of the people we have to protect. So, but we have to do it cautiously. And if we have to apply moral suasion with Lafarge, we will do that. And if they have any convincing evidence to show that, look, they are right, let them come forward with it. I can tell you, we are here to protect them.
All efforts to get the multinational cement company, who has been mentioned as a key player in this air, water, environment and noise pollution allegations, to respond and state their stand, proved abortive, as they did not grant interviews after inquiries were sent. As the cement factory continues to exist in the host communities and status quo maintained, so too does the threat of air, environment, water and noise pollution on health outcomes. But with the right implementation of policies, better industrial practices and public awareness, it is possible to turn the tide. In Ewekoro, Ogun, for News Central, Aishat Salihu.
Coming up after the break, Sudan paramilitary chief admits withdrawal from capital. We'll bring you more after the break. Join us again. Now, in other news away from Nigeria, the head of the Sudanese paramilitary Rapid Support Forces admitted in a speech to fighters on Sunday that the group had withdrawn from the capital, Khartoum, which rival army forces have retaken. The comment from RSF commander Mohamed Hamdan Daglo came 3 days after the group said there would be no retreat and no surrender, and that its forces had repositioned despite the army's declaration on Thursday that the last pockets of RSF had been eliminated from Khartoum after nearly 2 years of war. The war has created what the United Nations describes as the world's worst hunger and displacement crises. More than 12 million people have been uprooted, tens of thousands killed, and a UN-backed assessment declared famine in parts of the country. Army Chief Abdel Fattah al-Burhan on Saturday also vowed not to back down after a decisive blitz in which the army reclaimed the presidential palace, the war-damaged airport, and other key sites in the city center where buildings are burned and bullet-scarred. In the meantime, displaced Sudanese from Port Sudan gathered for Eid al-Fitr prayers, marking the end of the holy Muslim month of Ramadan. They're hoping to spend the next occasion in Khartoum, surrounded by their family and loved ones and everyone they love. They also pray that God puts an end to the war that has led to the fragmentation of the Sudanese people.
وندعو الله سبحانه وتعالى أن يعيد هذه المناسبة ونحن في الخرطوم وسط أهلنا وسط حبائبنا وسط كل من له صلة الرحم، وندعو الله سبحانه وتعالى أن يقف هذه الحرب القذرة التي أدت إلى تشتت الشعب السوداني من كل النواحي النفسية والنواحي المادية والنواحي الاجتماعية.
فقدت أهلي كلهم، يعني في السنة دي بالذات، يعني كل الناس كلها يعني هاجرت، يعني جزء مشى يعني مصر، جزء مشى السعودية، جزء مشى ليبيا. العائلة كلها ما تنقي فيها إنسان واحد، يعني كلهم يعني متفرقين. يعني دي كانت ما فيش، الناس كلها كانت يعني مترابطة، كلها يعني وكانوا بتلم مع بعض. لكن السنة دي بالذات يعني الناس كلها تفرقت. يعني
العيد صار عيدين. نحن في السودان في فرحتين، الفرحة عيد الفطر المبارك وفرحة انتصار القوات المسلحة وعودة الخرطوم حرة.
طبعا فقدنا كثيرا، احنا فقدنا الاهل والاصحاب والاخوان في ظل الحرب دي. يعني العيد بيكون مسيخ اصلا بالنسبه لنا نحن ذاته، يعني ما حتقدر حتمشي بيت ما بتعرف زول، انت قاعد في حته ما بتعرف زول، السلام عليكم وعليكم السلام. لكن العيد لازم تمشي تقعد مع، تجي من الجامع، تجي تقعد الفطور بعد الصلاه، تمشي لحبوباتك، لخالاتك، لعماتك، لاخواتك، لاولاد اختك، تمشي تعايد معاهم.
In business, Bureau de Change operators have revealed that despite the Naira's gains at the foreign exchange market during the week, the local currency is still suffering from a loss of confidence. Licensed currency traders said that although it is usually a good development to see the Naira gain in strength against other foreign currencies, it, however, noted that the local currency is overburdened by devaluation at the official market and depreciation at the open market. This was made known by the president of the Association of Bureau de Change Operators of Nigeria, APCON, Aminu Gwadebe, during an exclusive chat with Nairametrics over the weekend. Gwadebe said that the appreciation of the Naira can be attributed to the intervention of the Central Bank of Nigeria at the electronic foreign exchange merchant system window, which has significantly boosted supplies as well as weaker demand in the market. Nigeria's central bank's monetary policy rate is currently 27.50%, the fifth highest globally after Venezuela, Turkey, Zimbabwe, and Argentina. This is according to Mustafa Akinkunmi, a member of the CBN's Monetary Policy Committee. The rate, raised 6 times in 2024, reflects ongoing struggles with inflation, currency depreciation, and economic instability. The CBN has also increased the cash reserve ratio to 50% to curb inflation and liquidity, despite criticism from stakeholders. As of January 2025, private individuals hold 45.20% of total bank deposits. In the world of sports, Team Nigeria delivered a stunning performance at the 12th Annual Chess and Community Conference in Athens, Georgia, securing a 2-1 victory over the first team. The highlight of the event was Ferdinand, a young chess prodigy with cerebral palsy from Makoko, who defeated a highly rated USCF player in round 2 to clinch the match point. His exceptional play earned him the prestigious Young Genius Award. Meanwhile, Mary, once displaced in an IDP camp in Adamawa just 6 months ago, showcased resilience and talent, winning a silver medal and a $100 prize. Team Nigeria finished second overall, cementing their status as a rising force in international youth chess. Former national and West African light heavyweight champion Segun Success Olarinwaju passed away from collapsing during a boxing match in Ghana on Saturday. Now, the tragic incident occurred at Fight Night 15 of the Ghana Professional Boxing League at Bukom Boxing Arena, where Olarinwaju was competing against Ghanaian boxer John Mbanugu. Reports indicate he was leading on points before losing consciousness. Olarinwaju, a respected figure in Nigerian boxing, once held both national and West African titles. His sudden passing has led to an outpouring of tributes from colleagues, fans, and sports officials who remember his dedication and impact on the sports in Nigeria and West Africa. Now, still talking sports, the Africa Under-17 Cup of Nations AFCON begins in Morocco on Sunday, but 5-time world champions Nigeria's Golden Eaglets will be absent after failing to advance from the WAFU B regional qualifiers. Their absence also rules them out of the FIFA Under-17 World Cup later this year. The tournament, featuring 16 teams, serves as a pathway to national team careers for emerging talents. Morocco last hosted in 2013 when Kelechi Iheanacho shone for Nigeria. With Africa securing a record 10 slots at the FIFA Under-17 World Cup in Qatar, teams will battle for a place on the global stage. Host nation Morocco faces Uganda in Sunday's opener, with matches set across 4 Moroccan venues. That's all at the hour. But before we go, let's take another look at some of our major stories. You heard that President Tinubu congratulates Muslims on Eid, calls for unity and peace. You also heard that Islamic movement in Nigeria accuses security forces of human rights violations during its procession. Finally, we told you that head of Sudanese paramilitary rapid support forces admits withdrawal from capital Khartoum. Remember, you may send your eyewitness report to the WhatsApp number on the screen. Do follow us on social media. We are at News Central TV. You can watch News Central live on DSTV channel 422, GoTV channel 23, Star Times channel 274, Avo TV, and YouTube. Many thanks for watching. I'm Darshan Usman.